The confirmation of charges hearing in the case of Abu Garda ended on Friday, October the 30th at the International Criminal Court in The Hague. During the 9-day hearing, the prosecutor and the defense presented evidence and called 4 witnesses. The representatives of the victims also had the opportunity to present their observations. The prosecution, in its closing statement, held that the African peacekeeping mission was entitled to protected status under international law and alleged that Bahar Idriss Abu Garda was responsible for the attack on the Haskanita base of the African Union mission on the 29th of September 2007. For the Office of the Prosecutor, Essa Fall delivered closing arguments.
The prosecution's case against Abu Garda is that Mr. Abu Garda planned and directed the attack on the MGS Haskanita and used GEM breakaway forces who were loyal to him to carry out the attack. As such, he is individually, criminally responsible for the attack. The prosecution submits that there is sufficient evidence to establish substantial grounds to believe that Mr. Abu Garda committed the crimes charged. That the attack took place on 29 September 2007 is not challenged. That it took place in the context of an armed conflict, not of an international character, is not challenged. That 12 peacekeepers died and 8 others were seriously injured, and the camp pillaged is not challenged.
The 4 legal representatives of the victims, Ms. Helen Sisse, representing victims from Senegal, Mr. Brahima Kone, representing victims from Mali, Mr. Akin Akinbote, and Colonel Frank Adaka, representing victims from Nigeria, also made closing statements.
L'objectif essentiel des victimes.
The essential objective of the victims who have entrusted me with the duty of representing them is to defend their right to a trial so that justice can be rendered. That is to say, these victims have a direct and personal interest in this matter going to the trial division of the court if the court, and particularly the pretrial chamber, deems that the evidence produced by the defense and the prosecution in particular are sufficient to uphold the charges.
We have seen documentary evidence, we have seen videotapes, we have seen body of dead soldiers, we have seen dying soldiers making their dying declarations. And we know as a fact that we on this side are representing the victims. Victims that will remain victims forever because no amount of reparation can restore what they have lost. But justice must be done and must be seen to be done. This is the only way those who have suffered, those who will continue to suffer as a result of the events of 29 September can come to the conclusion that at least the world is not against them, that justice is being done.
Karim Khan, defense counsel for Mr. Abu Garda, stated that his client was not responsible for the attack against the Haskanita base on the 29th of September 2007, and that the base had also lost its protected status under international law at the time of the attack.
It is our submission that there are foundational and fatal flaws in the prosecution's theory, both on their evidence that AMIS was not a protected object on the 29th of September, and then also evidentiary issues for the reasons I've given. Your Honours, in the round, it is my respectful submission that the prosecution have failed to discharge their burden of proof. And this permits only one option. This case cannot be confirmed. Your Honours, this is the case, in my respectful submission, where a clear line can be drawn in the sand as to what amounts to sufficient evidence. If the pre-trial chamber is to have a purpose, it is to permit cases going ahead which will inevitably result in acquittals. It is to avoid needless trials. Your Honours have a case here where an individual has voluntarily surrendered, where there are significant and fatal flaws, where you can say this case does not deserve to be confirmed. That, of course, under the rules, is without prejudice to the prosecution. And if, at any stage, further evidence comes to light, a bench of the court, Your Honours included, may review it and decide at any stage to recharge. And if that is done, if the evidence is sufficient, Your Honours, my client's instructions are that once again, as he does today, he will appear with respect before Your Honours. As things stand, it is my submission this case cannot be confirmed.
Pretrial Chamber 1 will deliver its decision within 60 days of the end of the confirmation hearing, which concludes with the submission of written observations of the parties and participants. The Chamber, comprised of Presiding Judge Silvia Steiner, Judge Sanji Mmasenono Monageng, and Judge Cuno Tarfusser, upon evaluation of the presented evidence, can decide to either confirm the charges or refuse to confirm the charges, suspend the hearing, and request additional evidence or request an amendment of the charges from the prosecutor. If the judges conclude that there is sufficient evidence to support the charges, the case against Abu Garda will proceed to trial.